Hey folks, welcome to Calvin's Got Game. I'm Calvin,
I'm Lewis.
and today we're going to be giving you our most memorable games
Yeah.
that we played. To give us a memorable experience. I can't even talk today, but a memorable experience. So we're going to give you our 10 games. I've not seen Lewis' list. He's not seen mine, so we may have some crossover.
Yep.
Don't know, but we'll see. All right, we're going to start with Lewis, and we'll go ahead and get started.
All right. I will have one honorable mention.
Oh, and I'll have two. So you go ahead and do yours, and I'll do my two honorable mentions.
Okay, my honorable mention is from Blue Gear Games, and it's called The Knights of Glory. It's a dice rolling game, and my memorable moment of that one was actually meeting the designers and testing out the game with them.
It's a good one. I actually got to meet with designers as well and play the game, so I do have that as well. It's not on my list, but my two runners-up is Charterstone. Charterstone was a game I played with my wife. It was our first kind of legacy game-ish to play, and so it was kind of a memorable moment for us. I'm going to have trouble saying memorable, I think. And then Arkham Horror, the card game. It was just such a great experience the first time going through and experiencing the game. I think it was a lot of fun. And so just the experience of the game was memorable for me. All right, Lewis, what's your number 10?
And my number 10 is also from Blue Gear Games, and it's Dino Dodge. I liked it how I was there at the making of the game, testing it out, getting all the kinks out, and meeting the creator. And I think you had him on your
on my channel.
Yeah.
I did an interview with him on the channel.
Yeah.
Sure did.
And it was just fun. And when we first played it, after everything was done, and beating the creator, it's just something to meet the creator, then beat him at his own game.
That is fun. It's a great game too. It's a fun little game. If it's something that you're looking to for a family game,
Yes,
it is a nice little family game for folks. Well, that's a good pick, Lewis. My number 10, and Lewis put the publisher of the game on there. I did not. I got lazy. So my number 10 is Robinson Crusoe, Adventures on the Cursed Island. I played this game quite a bit with my wife. Played it with Kyle from my gaming group as well. It's just getting almost to the point where you can make it through the scenario that you're playing. You're almost there, and then a card draw or something, a weather condition just blows everything out of the way. You didn't prepare just enough. So it gives you those memorable moments of almost making it, but not quite.
Well, my number 9 is an old game, no longer in print, but it is X-Men Under Siege. And my memorable moment, can't even say it myself.
We're having trouble saying memorable, folks.
Yes. It was when I first got the game, and me and my brothers all pretended to be the X-Men and fighting all these evil villains.
Awesome.
Over and over again. That's why number 9 is X-Men Under Siege.
All right. Well, my number 9 is Eldritch Horror. And a lot of my games tend to be cooperative, which is kind of weird, but they bring me memorable moments because we're working together, yes. I think, a lot of times. So Eldritch Horror, for me, was just I played Arkham Horror and all those other games, and those are fine. But Eldritch Horror kind of brought it down to a smaller scale for me, to where you're just going from place to place. You're putting out gates. You're trying to defeat this monster, and you got this one bad guy. But it's very thematic because all the issues kind of pertain to that one bad guy.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes a memorable experience when you finally beat that one bad guy. It's a great game. If you've never played Eldritch Horror, please check it out. That's my number 9.
My number 8 is actually a game that you gave to me and my wife.
All right.
It's Glow by Strongham's Games, and the artwork is really beautiful. And for my wife and myself.
It's objective, but yes, it is nice.
And never won the game. I have not won the game yet, but it's just memorable because it's one of the games that my wife, and she's not a board game person, but she wants to play that over and over again. Never have won it, like I said, but it's just the spending time with your wife is something you enjoy. It's great.
Yeah, well, spending time, yes, for sure. And I always preach that on my channel. Spend time with your friends and family. You know, that's what it's all about, getting together around the table, because it brings talking and camaraderie and all that. that glow, he brought it to the game store.
Yeah.
Just last week.
Yeah, last week.
Last week. And he goes, I'm going to try to win this game.
Yep.
He still didn't win.
No.
But I don't think I did either. So
no, you all tied.
Yeah, we tied. Me and another guy tied. Me and Philip. Randall. Me and Randall tied. All right, so my number 8. We are on number 8, right?
You're number 8.
My number 8 is Cthulhu Death May Die. Cthulhu Death May Die, they have these huge miniatures. They hardly fit on the board. It's kind of weird, but the game is just so in your face, and you're trying to beat the bad guy. You know, there's Cthulhu, some other Cthulhuian bad guys, out there. So it is just so fun to play it, to, once again, almost meet the mark. Yeah. Almost have enough firepower. Almost have enough, or you didn't get that one last move to do what you needed to do. It's such a great game. That's my number 8, Cthulhu Death May Die.
Well, my number 7 is a game that you introduced me to it, and now have all the expansions to it. It's Call to Adventure, and it's a great group game, but it's also a nice single player game.
Yeah.
And getting the expansions to it, and then trying to beat the chapters, which each must change as you play along the storyline. I just finding it very interesting. That is very replayable, because you can pretend if you're in D&D and your game group hasn't met for a while, this is a good game to go to for Call Adventure. To fill in.
It's a storytelling game.
Yes.
So you're trying to tell the story of your hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's so fun about that game, Call to Adventure, is you're a hero and it gives you a backstory.
Yes.
You may be seeking vengeance and you're
right.
whatever. It just gives you a little backstory of how you're going to draft cards.
Yes.
It's such a cool game. That's a good pick. All right, my number 7 is Legends of Andor. Legends of Andor, once again, a cooperative game. There's this track on the side of the board. It goes from A to, I don't know, it goes up to K, G, or something like that. And each time you kill a monster, you progress that track. So you don't want to progress the track too fast. So you don't want to kill too many monsters, right? But you have to kill monsters to keep them from attacking your castle.
Mm-hmm.
But there's other quests that you're doing to move the story forward. You may have to find some herbs, or you may have to find a well. You may have to go rescue somebody. It is so weird of a game. To me, it's very strategic in balancing killing monsters, balancing doing what you're supposed to be doing, but you all have to work together to make this come together. And there's little things that happen. When you go to B, you'll have to turn over a card, and it'll tell you what's going to happen. So you may get help from this guy on a white horse who comes and helps, which is fantastic. So these give me great moments of gaming to where you don't know exactly what's going to happen. And this is not a game you only play one time and it's over. It continues through a storyline. So my number 7 is Legends of Andor. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, most of the games I have on my list are the remember moments. It's just introducing the game and getting me caught on the game. Number 6.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Number 6 is Descent. It's a legacy game. Now, there are several memorable moments of this game with my other game group I have, but it's a story-driven app game. I think I said that correct.
Yeah, it's got an app.
Yes. And the app helps you along. It's like a little bit D&D. And defeating that monster, going. But what is memorable is you last creature, and you are rolling, you are attacking, and you roll a very high damage, and the creature comes down to 1 point left. 1 point. There has been so many times we had to get that. We hit hard, but it came down to 1 point, and we just throw our hands up and going, really?
Yeah, well, it happens, right?
Yes.
That's the whole almost making it, right? So that was
my number 6.
Okay. Now the one you're talking about, I have a Descent 2nd edition, Journeys into the Dark, that's also app driven, But I think the one you're talking about has all those really big.
Yeah, yes, it's Descent of Legacy, Legends of the Fallen.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I know it has big pieces that you're setting up on the board, almost like terrain. Am I right?
Yeah, terrain.
Yeah, okay.
And that one is from Fantasy Flight Games.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I was distinguishing in my mind because
Yes.
there's a lot of those Descents out there. It's first edition, second edition, and then
Right.
that one there. All right, so my number 6 is Forgotten Waters. Forgotten Waters is also an app-driven game, and this one actually reads to you. I don't know if the Descent one does.
Yes.
But-
Halfway.
Yeah, but the voice acting in the Forgotten Waters is fantastic, and you get to make decisions. You're going to put your pirate on a certain place in the boat, or what you're going to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
And so what you do that day may send you on an adventure. It may move the ship. It may do all kinds of things, and you're trying to stay away from this other ship that's trying to catch you. This game is just phenomenal. If you've not played Forgotten Waters, guys, go get it. Find somebody who owns it. Play it with them. But I love Forgotten Waters. It is so good. I played it with my game group. Unfortunately, Lewis wasn't part of that game group at that time.
Yeah.
But we played it. We enjoyed it. The storytelling was fabulous. It's just so much fun. So, Forgotten Waters is my number 6.
My number 5 is Jamaica from GameWorks. And that was another game that the first time I played it was with Calvin's game group. And we have played it several times. But that one moment, it's a game that you're a little pirate ship taking your supplies along this route. And every now and then you can plunder each other.
Mm-hmm.
And you have cannons tokens, and you can see who's going to be hired ones to take over either steal gold or steal food from each other. But you always have to roll the dice.
Mm-hmm.
And Calvin you had a high number, like 12, 13 cannons on me. I only had a few. I had to roll on this dice a explosion image.
Mm-hmm.
The chances of that is very low.
Yeah, it's very slim. Very slim.
But I did, and
It wasn't very nice.
it was, most of the games that we have played, it was like either I get that good roll on you, or that good move you get on me, and I'm out.
Yeah. It's and Lewis is always the wild card in the game. You never know what Lewis is going to do. He's the wild card, right? So he may do something practical,
Yeah.
or impractical. So you just have to kind of go, okay, Lewis is the wild card. What's he going to do? But yeah, Jamaica's a racing game that you're racing to an island to try to be the first boat there.
Yes.
It's a fabulous game. And the components are really nice too.
Yes.
I think it's a nice game for sure. Great pick. My number 5 is a game called Dark Moon. Dark Moon has a trader aspect in it. And as always, everybody always assumes I'm the trader. So in Dark Moon, you're trying to get back to Earth, and you're trying to fix the ship and get everything just right, and the communications and everything to get back, and there's a traitor trying to sabotage everything. We've had so much fun. Unfortunately, Lewis wasn't part of that game group at that time, but we've had so much fun with Dark Moon, and I think we enjoyed it so much. I think my friend Kyle went out and actually bought a copy of it, and he got the expansion. I don't have the expansion, but it's such a good game. The traitor moment where everybody thinks you're the traitor and you're not, because you roll dice behind a screen, right? And you have to contribute dice to the event if you roll dice. But guess what? You may not roll good dice.
Yeah.
You may actually have a bad roll, and the dice you have to contribute are bad. There's nothing you can do about it. And so they're going to tell you, oh, you're a traitor. And there was just no other way to do it. You just have to tell them, look, I had no choice. So I enjoy Dark Moon. I think it's one of the funniest. And one of the weirdest is we were playing the game, and I thought I was the traitor. I'd misread the card, and I wasn't the traitor, but yet I was sabotaged. So the traitor's just sitting back going, great, So make sure you know if you're the traitor or not. But Dark Moon is my number 5.
My number 4, I don't think you have played this with us, but it's Ark Nova by Capstone Games. It is a very, very long game. It's 1 to 4 players, but It does take a while to play. My memorable moment is finally getting the time to do the whole game and finish it. And that was recent, during the in the last couple months, and I finished it with Christine, the owner of
Three Sons Unlimited.
Yes, and she wanted to finish too because she has played it several times, and we both wanted to finish. So we sat down, we made a time one day. That's what we're gonna do, and just to finish that game completely, it felt so good. It's because it's just a game that the cards component real nice. The concept of how to move and collect cards that will give you certain abilities as the game is just so nice.
Well, I've never played it yet. I might play it. The longness of it, the length of the game might be an issue for me. If it's over about an hour and a half, I'm pretty much spent. Now, I will have to say Forgotten Waters, about a 2 hour, 3 hour game, but there's so much going on in the storytelling and everything that I kind of forgive that. So, but if you're just, to me, if it's a worker placement and kind of getting stuff, about an hour and a half is about my limit. So,
Yeah.
but I enjoy playing games, and I'll play it at some point.
Yeah, and this one, it took us 4 hours. Yeah, 4 hours to finish.
Yeah, I don't know about that. 4 hours. Woo. All right, so my number 4 is Dead of Winter. Absolutely love Dead of Winter. I remember a game, it was myself, Kyle, and Erica, and we were playing this game, and Kyle thought Erica was the traitor, and Erica thought Kyle was a traitor. So they wanted to vote. On Kyle's turn, he wanted me to vote with him to vote Erica out of the colony. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't believe she's a traitor. And then Erica wanted me to vote Kyle out of the colony because she thought he was a traitor. I said, no, I'm not going to do that either. And then come to find out, none of us were the traitor because you get dealt cards. There's a possibility of a traitor. It doesn't always have to be. Yeah. And it come to turn out none of us was the traitor. So I was glad I didn't do that, but it's so much fun to go to these places and you're rolling a dice for exposure. And if you get bit, you die automatically, but it goes to the next person with the lowest ranking or whatever, and they have to roll the dice, or they can stop the virus and just die, right? So this game is so much fun to me. I actually have a poster made of it at my house that I made myself, and I need to get it hung up in here in my new game room, but I haven't done that at my old house that I had. I haven't brought it over yet. So, guys, if you haven't played Dead of Winter, I say check that one out. Some people don't like it because of the traitor aspect, and it kind of makes you look like a traitor because you have your own set of
conditions.
Thank you, that help you win the game. Like you have to have so much food or you have to have so much medicine. It kind of hurts the game because you're not adding those things to the colony. But I still like the game. And to me, even if I don't make my secret objective and we all beat the game, it's a win, right? I don't care. We won. So anyway, Dead of Winter for me, my number 4.
Okay. Get into the top 3 now.
Top 3, here we go. These are the good games.
Yeah. Room, and that might be on your list too. Room 25. Now, Calvin has played this game before, even before I did.
Oh, yeah. And
I got in there, Calvin said, come on, jump in. I said, got in there, picked my character. Second turn. Me and Calvin were supposed to be working together. Second turn. I played my character. Calvin moved a certain tile, and he shot me into space. And that was it. But you know what? Even though I was out early, just enjoying what everyone was doing, it was very memorable. And now that is one game that I always try to put it back on the board table because it's just, you never know what might happen.
And the sad part about it is that game is out of print.
Yeah.
You can buy some game that's kind of like it. It's called Room 25, but it's not the same. I don't know. It's different.
Yeah.
But it is a good game. And for that reason, it's also my number 3. Number 3 is Room 25 for me. And I always have memorable moments when we play this game. You're working together. You're either convicts trying to get out of this square. It's almost like a cube. You have a square of tiles, and all the tiles are face down.
Yes.
And so you have guards and you have convicts. So the convicts are trying to escape, but the guards are trying to keep them from escaping. So you have to find this exit. It's on one of the corners of the board. Could be one of the 3 tiles on the corner. Well, in that, you got 3 things you can do, or 4 things you can do. You can move. You can peek at a tile that's around you. You can shove somebody, and that's what happened to Lewis. God bless him. I shoved him into a tile. We didn't know what it was.
Nope,
I was hoping it was safe, and it was not.
Wasn't.
He died immediately, so he spent maybe 2 minutes in the game. So, sorry, Lewis. And the 4th one is you can shift rows or columns up or down on your turn. And the good thing is you're programming only 2 things that you do that turn. So everybody programs secretly. And then when your turn order comes up, that's when you take your first turn. And then you'll take your second turn when it comes back around to you. So take first, second. So anyway, it's just a lot of fun. It's chaotic is all get out. And it's just a lot of fun not knowing what those tiles are. And knowing that there's a bad tile. And so you put this thing on there telling people it's a bad tile. They may not believe you. They may think it's the exit and you're a guard trying to keep them from getting to the exit. So you may just jump on the tile without peeking at it and you have to suffer the consequences. Anyway, that's my number 3 and Lewis's number 3.
And mine.
Room 25.
Okay. Which you kind of figure out it was going to be
it's going to be on my list. I enjoy that game a
lot. My number 2 is not a board game per se. It's a card game. And it's a card game that me and my wife, if I ask her what game you want to play tonight when we have some time, she will say Flux.
Flux.
She loves Flux.
Any certain particular one?
Any of the chemistry, space, anything. Math, yes. Even though she tells me she's not good at math, she is.
Yeah, well.
Flux is a card game that you start off with 2 simple rules. You draw a card, you play a card. But throughout the game, those rules will change. It might be you draw a card that lets you put it down and lets you, on the next turn, draw 2 cards, but you can place 1. One will say, oh, guess what? You swap hands. Mm-hmm. And if you have the winning combination, now the winning combination is you got to fill the requirements of the gold. And it requires 2 cards. Mm-hmm. And if you have it in your hand and the next turn you're going to win it, but the opponent said swap cards or hands, you're going to lose.
Or they change the goal.
Oh, they changed the goal, yes. The goal is always changing, always changing. Mm-hmm. And my wife just loves how she can just keep adding rules. And I'm going, okay, can you stop now?
You know what my favorite card is in that game?
What?
Rules Reset.
Oh, yes.
I like that the most.
Yes.
Because sometimes you can get too many rules.
Yeah. And that's the one card I always look for, Rule Reset, because all the Flux versions are great. They all. But Flux, and the memorable moment is I literally gave my wife 27 cards in her hand.
Dang. Y'all must have been drawing 5 or something.
Yes.
Only playing 1.
And only playing 1. And her hand was just full. And I had 1 card left. And the goal was right there. And we already went through a lot of goals. And I knew it was going to win. She had that 1 card to swap hands. And I'm going, here. And it was, oh, thank you.
Yeah. That sucks. That's a terrible thing, right? That's terrible. Well, I know a lot of people give Flux a hard time, right? They're like, it's a terrible game. You're changing it. Look, it's a fun game. And if you enjoy playing it and it gives you those memorable moments and you get to spend time with your wife, your spouse, your significant other, whatever it is, your family, what the heck, it's a great game for you.
Yeah, it is a great game.
All right, my number 2 is Betrayal at House on the Hill. Betrayal at House on the Hill has given me over the years so many, and for a long time, it's probably my favorite game of all time, right? Now, there's games that bumped it off since then, and it's fallen for me. First of all, I don't get to play it as much as I used to because I don't have a huge game group that we had before. But Betrayal House on the Hill. A lot of people give it a hard time because some of the scenarios are broken.
Yeah.
And you have to house rule a few things, and that's fine with me. I don't mind doing that as long as it's agreeable to the other folk, the survivors, and,
Yes.
and you, the whatever. I don't mind house ruling a little bit. That's fine with me. But some people have a problem with it. But this was the first game I played as I guess designer board games. What you call these games? All these games I have on my shelf, designer board games, other than mass market.
Yes, out of the mass
This was
market.
probably the first. I think I'd played Catan once. It was okay. Wasn't a big fan. But this was the first game that somebody brought and said, hey, let's play Betrayal House on the Hill. And it was a little game store that used to be in a little town called Gilmer. And my son was into Magic. And so we went up there that day. They had a big Magic thing. He said, come on, Dad. They'll play board games and stuff over there too. I said, okay. So I went. Some guy had this big tub just full of games. He said, hey, what do you want to play? I said, man, I don't care. He said, well, let's play Betrayal House on the Hill. There's about 4 or 5 of us. And my other son, my middle son, Brody, he wanted to play too. So we all played. It was just a fantastic experience. I was like, holy cow, this is what modern board games have come to.
Yeah.
Right? And it was like you were laying out this house and we're discovering these things, omens and items and things that were happening. Then when the haunt started, I was like, man, it was almost a giddy moment. You know, I was like, my heart was pumping. I'm like, okay, what I got to do? What I got to do? Guys, I thought the game was fantastic. I actually went out and bought it the next couple of days later when I could find it. So, Betrayal House on the Hill, give me some memorable moments, not just in that game, but it's given me memorable moments multiple times. And multiple groups that I played it with had fantastic times. That's my number 2, Betrayal House on the Hill.
That's a good
All right,
one
Lewis,
there.
your number 1. It's got to be a good one.
It is. It was actually a tough choice because I had 3 that I played quite a bit, and I had to really think which one would it give me a memorable moment. And most memorable moments of most of these games are with my wife and my game group. But having my wife, and like I said earlier, my wife is not a board game person. She's not. The game really has to catch her right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
But Everdell by Starling Games.
Yeah.
It's just a nice board game that my wife, that first night, Christine, again, bought it out, showed me how to play. My wife joined us. First time she
That's
joined,
unusual.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
That is unusual. First time my wife joined a group board game. And having her next to me, playing with me, enjoying something that I like is so, so special. And after that, my wife said, I like this game. And she has played it a couple more times with me. And it's one of the few games that I have every expansion to it. Every expansion. Now, it is basically building a small town.
Tableau cards. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get 15 cards.
And getting resources. It's a resource-based game, but the artwork is...
But it doesn't help. The critters are cute too.
Yeah,
the critters and the little pieces are...
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's... and the expansions just make it more interactive. Now, it does say as you get more expansions, not to play them all at one time.
Wow.
It's just so much. But you, even though you might not play them all at one time, just have it out there on the board. All of those expansions, it just looks like its own little word. And you go, I have it all out on one of my big old tables, and just walk by and going, you know what? I'm going to go in that fantasy world today and just play it on my own. But I stopped playing them. My wife, what are you doing? Everdell. She will stop what she's doing. Let's play together. And I deal her in and we play.
It's a great game. It made my short list. It didn't quite make my honorable mentions either. But I do like Everdell. Like you say, it doesn't hurt that the components are so wonderful. Mm-hmm. My wife actually likes the game too. I think I have it back here on my shelf right there.
Yep.
So she loves it. She likes to play it. I also have Everdell Far Shore right up there underneath the picture. So it's a standalone game.
Yeah,
it's just different.
It is.
But I like Everdell as well. It's one of my. It's a good game. I enjoy it. Enjoy to play it all the time. All right, so my number one, I think you already know what it is. I've talked about it at Game Group a lot. That if you ever find it, buy it, especially if it's at the right price. And I found this game at the right price. It was $19. It was sealed in a box. And I'd heard so much about this game on the Dice Tower, right? You know, Tom and all of them talk about this game being so wonderful. And you're probably wondering what the game is. The game is The Rise of Queensdale. The Rise of Queensdale is a legacy game where you're continuing on a story. I found this game in a half-price bookstore, brand spanking new, for like $19. I said, I've got to get it. I don't care. I'm going to buy it. If I don't like it, it's $19. Big deal. Yeah. Right? So I got it home, read the rules, watched a little bit of how to play just to kind of get an idea. And so my wife and I set the game up on the table. My wife and I played the first scenario go through, right? And I think you play the game like 17 times. I think we played it 17 or so, 16 times, something like that. We left it set up on the table. We left it set up, and we came back every night, and we were excited to see what was going to happen in Everdale. I mean, The Rise of Queensdale, excuse me. He talked about Everdale, and I looked at him, I thought Everdale. The Rise of Queensdale. We come back every night going, what is going to happen in The Rise of Queensdale tonight? And it's a worker placement game, and you're scoring points. The game comes with a little bitty plunger about this tall, and the board is all these hexagonal pieces face down. You take a plunger, you pull that thing out so it doesn't mess up the whole board. You're not peeling it with your fingers. You push that little plunger down, you pull it out, you put a new piece in there. It's just fantastic. And you have other cards that happen. You have stuff that happens after the game. If so-and-so happened, this happened. Guys, I'm telling you, if you have not seen The Rise of Queensdale, if you do see it at a half-price books, but only buy it if it's brand new. I don't think you can buy it if it's been used. Now, if it's used and it's not been played or opened, I mean, it looks new and the board's not been messed up, I would say maybe give it a shot. But I would only buy it brand new. My number one, The Rise of Queensdale.
Yeah, you have talked about it so much that I looked it up. And now I am personally on the hunt for it.
Oh, it's a hard game to find. I think it's out of print. I think the designers, they designed a couple other games at one point, but I wish they would design another game like this. Yeah. I would buy it. They'd have my money. Put it on Kickstarter, and I'm shoving money at you, okay? It's that good. For me, anyway. So, Lewis, that was Lewis and I's list. That's the way to say that, right? Lewis and I, yeah. I want to speak proper English, right? There may be an English teacher out there to go, that's not the way to say it.
I know it.
So, but anyway, that's our top 10 games that we have had memorable moments playing. And I'm going to tell you, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that bell notification for new videos that come out. I want to hit 500 subscribers this year. Guys, I need your help. Hit that subscribe button. And also, remember, get a board game to the table, spend time with your friends and your family, and thanks for watching Calvin's Guide Game.